to kill that same uncle who he loved dearly, which is what turned him into a psychopath because of his dad.
Because it would have been nothing Robin could do at that time, having that bounty at that young age. Every person she ever met was trying to turn her in.
Who were in fear of him because of the Jinchuriki. And to me, like, that's just way worse than actually having to move around, start friends.
People that she thought she was close with are dead, and they all died just for what? Knowing knowledge?
Reading books.
Like, all right, what's up, YouTube? So for our video today, we have found something on Twitter that was saying who has the saddest childhood here, Robin from One Piece or Gaara from Naruto? We gonna get straight to it. All right, I always typically pick on Khalil but this time I think I'm gonna choose you, Mike. Who you got?
See,
got the saddest
that's where you messed up at. Like,
oh,
I'm not gonna lie, like, this was a little hard to choose, bro. It's like they're pretty equal, but like from the very beginning, like Robin's people were massacred, but Gaara, like, he had to live with the isolation. So Gaara was isolated within his own place. Robin didn't have nobody to like rely on. She kind of just had herself. So even though she had to move place to place to place, Gaara actually had to live with the people who isolated him, who were in fear of him because of the Jinchuriki. And to me, like, that's just way worse than actually having to move around, start friends over. Like, it stinks for Robin, and I do think she had it bad, but Gaara actually had to have the lived experience with people he loved in his own family, basically going, who is this man? Like, keep him away from me. And I think that's worse as a kid. So I'm saying Gaara got this one. I ain't gonna hold you. That loneliness and isolation by yourself from your own family kind of hurt harder than when you don't know the people you're around.
No, I can understand that. I feel like I'm probably still going to pick Robin, just from the simple fact of, like we said, her people did get massacred. She literally saw them die in front of her. And the fact that she had that looming thought of being chased by one of the strongest people in the verse at the time. What was it, Aokiji? Having that looming thought of Aokiji running to you again, it's over. Because it would have been nothing Robin could do at that time, having that bounty at that young age. Every person she ever met was trying to turn her in or kill her or worse. As a child, I feel like it's what made that worse, having to move around. I can understand the isolation from Gaara having to deal with his people, but I feel like Robin having to constantly deal with that looming thought of never being able to trust anybody ever, and then what it led to later on in the story we see from Robin. So I think that Robin's was worse than Gaara's in that aspect.
I can agree. Khalil.
It's like, I see your point, and I'll raise you this. Gaara's dad attempted to have Gaara killed on multiple occasions. One of the times from his own uncle, he was the closest thing Gaara had to a father that wasn't his father. Yashimaru, he loved him like a dad. He came to him. He's the one who told Gaara about how you're supposed to love a person. And then for Gaara to have an assassination attempt on his head, and then to kill that same uncle who he loved dearly, which is what turned him into a psychopath because of his dad. I don't see how you could top that.
But yeah,
I'm with Khalil. Who, the uncle?
No, did Gaara die? Did he die though?
Did Robin?
Nah, but I'm saying,
argument.
They talk about all this stuff, but all these assassination attempts, he didn't die though.
I think it's because I could jump off of what Khalil was saying. Like, it's because it made him feel unloved. Like, that's what I was saying. Like, Gaara actually having to live through the experience, the turmoil overall, to me, turned him into a monster. And I think that's writing, of course. But Robin, I think she didn't turn into a monster because she kept going place to place to place. She definitely wasn't right in the head initially when they met her. She was going through a lot of turmoil. You know, a lot of her stuff was more societal. Gaara felt unloved in his own home and turned into a crinkly face, eczema having monster. Like, and he legit had a monster inside of him. So to me, it's just
crazy.
It's hard. It's hard.
Look,
Even the path to healing was hard.
I'll give Gaara the sob story because they both got real sad stories. Don't get me wrong, but Gaara gets all the sad stories because he was trying to get killed by people in his village and he stayed in one spot. Robin's thing is bad, one, because when she was a child, she didn't even really know her mother, and when she finally got to meet her mom, she got killed on the spot. And then the person who she kind of looked up to as like a grandfather figure also got shot in the head in front of her on the spot. And when she finally thinks, okay, I have a friend that's going to try to help me get away from here, he gets frozen. She thinks he's dead. And Aokiji does give her a chance to live. But now she has to go on this journey as a young child, knowing that she never had to build a relationship with her mom. The two people that she thought she was close with are dead. And they all died just for what? Knowing knowledge?
Reading books.
Like reading books.
Yeah,
like
but-
a kid getting killed because she knows stuff. That's wild. And then she can't even go out anywhere without worrying if the Navy is gonna shoot her down. She can't go to like somebody's door, knock knock, hey, I don't have a family. They're gonna be like, oh, you're the same kid that needs to be getting on the bounty. Money A's, we about to put you to the Navy. And then what? Then the government's gonna get her because she already knows all the information of the island that was blown up, right? She'd get killed on the spot. Mind you, just when Robin also saw the fact that the people that were supposed to be safe, that were supposed to leave safe, all got killed too. That's traumatizing.
See, I mean,
mad traumatizing.
I see what you're saying, but like, I feel like because she was older, it didn't. I mean, she grew up into it, so I get you. I just feel like those are like for like, but like, Gaara's trauma was so bad that he created his own philosophy just to prove that his own existence. Basically, like, he needed to justify his own stuff. Like, I need to kill people. I have this thirst for hunger or thirst for killing people just to prove that he exists and to kind of counteract his own loneliness. He even had brothers and sisters who he couldn't really rely on because everybody basically saw him as a weapon for the sand. He wasn't actually looked at as a person. And again, on top of all of that, we saw how the Jinchuriki affected Naruto. It's harder to even fathom how it was affecting Gaara because that's another thing. The thing that was inside of him ostracized him from his own family and potential friends. Even in school, all his friends were just like, he's just there. What you got there?
It did not let that man sleep. Those dark circles, it's not eye makeup. Those are bags. Gaara has not slept in over a decade because that thing was terrorizing him in his sleep. So when Naruto finally beat the brakes off him, Gaara finally got to take a nap. Can you imagine having something just constantly in your psyche, like just something in your psyche, your whole life just telling you, hey, it's me, your mom, who you never met. I need you to kill this person. I need their blood to satisfy me. Gaara became a bloodthirsty demon for something that he thought was his mom. Something that was like, no one will love you, but I'll love you. He was getting love from the wrong places. Robin ain't got no love.
It just sounds like it's what resonates with you more. Is it the direct like emotional pain, or is it that lifelong pain that just keeps chopping and chopping and chopping? Because I will admit, Gaara probably did, even when he got into the kill phase, like, because everybody viewed him a certain way, he probably commanded a certain type of respect. But you can't get respect. Respect through fear is only respected for so long. And I will say, Robin's is lifelong. Like, hers is,
even to
it
day,
still follows her to this day.
Yeah.
But she just around the right group of people where that alone washed it away. We didn't really have to see the trauma that came from her pain. Gaara's, like, we saw that. That's the reason why I have to say his.
Did
was
we
worse.
not see it? We did see it in Water 7 when she left. When
Man, she was
showed
getting
up.
stomped on them
We
chairs.
beat on.
She was getting
Technically
stomped
But
on.
I think that was good. I mean, that was because of her backstory in general, but not because of her, the person. I guess I'm more connected to like the personal pain. Anybody else in the same situation, I feel like, would have gotten treated like Robin. But like Gaara, if he was a woman, he might have got treated a little different. If he wasn't ugly, he might have got treated a little different too. I don't know. I don't know. It's hard
That's
to call it.
crazy.
We see the PTSD from just the mentioning of Buster calls and stuff from Robin. The fact that she really didn't want to live, she had gave up completely the entire arc of Water 7 until that moment.
That's fair.
And then we see I forgot his name, but the dude with the elephant sword stomping her teeth in the whole arc, slapping her around
Up them stairs.
How many times do we see her get dragged up a flight of stairs? I feel like it's tough. But I can understand Gaara's too, though. So I could see what you're saying. It's kind of like a plea of which one you really would not prefer, but which one
your
resonates
heartstrings is tugged.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, which way it goes. I think both of them it is really bad. Like, don't get me wrong. Like Gaara getting the looks, the bad looks from everybody in his village, and then having your own family trying to kill you off is crazy. Versus Robin, who is like, you know, you didn't know your family because they got killed the moment you finally saw your mom, but now you can't trust anybody out in the world because they don't have your best interests at heart because there's a bounty on your head no matter where you go. So I think this was tough. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, it's a tough one. All right, but yeah, we'll let the audience decide who got this one. Do you guys think that Robin has the more traumatic backstory, or do you think that Gaara has the more traumatic backstory? We keep forgetting to tell y'all like, comment, subscribe, but don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're gonna tell y'all in the beginning one of these days. We'll catch you in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Eczema having monster, like, and he legit had a monster inside of him. So to me,
It's
just
crazy.